So just a little background. I have read probably thousands of books, and I personally just I enjoy and love reading. So I decided that I would review books on YouTube and help other people find really good books. So today's book is called The Price of Creation by Lance Conrad. I personally really love this book, and I really love Lance Conrad. So here's the story. The historian chances upon Surak, a land where people's destinies are defined by powerful pendants they have from birth called stones. Those whose stones give them useful skills call them creators, and isolate themselves from all others with a wall that splits the entire continent. When Eric, a creator blacksmith, has a son born with a stone that marks him for violence and destruction, they find themselves in danger from those they called their friends. When the boy Sadavir is ultimately banished, he discovers secrets far darker than the villagers' petty prejudices. On the far side of that wall, he learns the origin of the stone's magic and a war that dates back centuries. As he uncovers the true power unlocked in the stones, he must find a way to unite ancient enemies in order to save his family. To stop a genocide, Sadavir must face his own destiny of violence. Oh my gosh. Super good. So, in context, this book is one of, at the time I read it, there was only 4, but I think the goal is for like 8. These are called the Historian Tales, and to sum it up, it's about this man called the Historian. He doesn't remember his name, doesn't remember his past, and he is immortal, and he's forced to walk into a world, a universe, or whatever, a story, if you call it, and witness the story. And he is not in any way allowed to interfere with the course of the story. He can talk to people. He can interact with them and go places and stuff. But he cannot change the course of the story, or he isn't supposed to. Of the books in the series, none of them are actually related to each other. The only thing they have in common is the historian. He's kind of like a main character for the series, but not necessarily a main character in the books themselves. He's kind of just an observer. He watches, he notices. Here's kind of how the story works. When people are born in this world, they're born with a stone. And the stones are red and green and blue and different colors. And if these stones, you can see through them, they're clear, then, red means that you work with fire well. It boosts your ability to work with fire. And then, depending on the color of blue, either stone or metal. And green helps you work with wood. But if the stones are not clear, that's a different matter. So if they are not clear, they actually do not help you with these materials. And if you're born in the walled off village of creators with the see-through stones, and you have a stone that isn't clear, they will either try and kill you, or they will banish you to the lands outside the wall, and that's where the destroyers live. Basically, what the story just said is the main character is born, and not only is he not born with a stone that's red or green or blue, but he's born with a black stone, and it is not a creator stone. And so his father defies the oral law of the town and does not end his son and keeps his son. And oh my gosh, it's so interesting. At one point, he's forced to leave the town as the summary says, and he learns more about the stones, and it's super good. I definitely would recommend this book, and I definitely, once you've read it, I'd recommend reading the sequel uh, to Price of Creation. It's called Echoes of Creation, and it's about what happens after the historian leaves. Then, and then I'd also recommend reading the other books in the historian tales. They are also interesting, and they're completely different. This one's about creators and destroyers and stones, but you go read like The Price of Nobility, and it's a completely different story. Like there's almost not even I don't there's not even magic in it. So the genre, if you couldn't tell, is fantasy. I could tell you a bunch of fantasy books, but there aren't too many fantasy books that I know that are similar to this. So if you do like this book, uh, you should probably just read the other books by Lance Conrad. Um, the age range, it's there's definitely some violence in this book, but other than that, I'd say it's pretty. You can read this maybe 10 or 12, depending on your maturity, depending on what parents feel is best. So as far as parental reviews, I would say probably, if we have sippy cup, juice box, soda pop, energy drink, I'd say juice box. Uh, Not that it's like childish, but just that it's not bad for you. A funny factor, I'd say I don't know. I couldn't remember too much humor in there, so I'd say probably only like a 2. The cool factor, I I don't know. That you'll never read another book like this. It's definitely cool, and it's interesting. The way the world kind of works. So I'd say a 4. Page turner. This is definitely a page turner. It's so good. I for page turner, I'd probably say 5. And characters, all the characters are different. And I just want to point out Lance Conrad's description is just so great. Instead of so and so was strong, he describes like their muscles like rippling or stuff like that. So I just wanted to point that out. Completely unrelated characters. I'd say a 4. Easily. Just how the characters are and their personalities and stuff. And for Rock's review, I would say that is a 4.5 at the worst, and a 5 at the best. 5 out of 5. If you like that video, please make sure that you show your appreciation and click the like button down below. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. I come out with videos regularly. If you disagreed with my review, comment down below and tell me why you disagreed and if you think it should be changed, and maybe I'll re-rate it. If you have a favorite book that people aren't reading, or you want me to review, let me know, and I'll look into that. Thank you so much for your time. Cheers.